This is Midwest and the Far East. I've lived in Japan for 10 years. I currently live just right outside of Tokyo in Kanagawa. I have 2 kids. I have a son who's 2 years old and a daughter who is 2 months old. And today I'm going to just kind of break down my experience of living in Japan and talking to you about how Japan supports new families. I'm going to talk today about 4 different things. The first of the 4 is going to be classes. So there are different classes that this area offers new moms and dads to be. I'm going to talk about leave, so parental leave, stipends that Japan offers. And then I'll also talk about how Japan covers your medical expenses for the birth. So much to go through today, so let's get started. Boom. Okay, so, that bug. The first of the 4 things I want to talk to you today about are different classes that Japan offers to new mothers and fathers to be. So in my case in particular, I went with my wife to a class that was at the ward office. So a ward is just like a county or something like that, just an area, and they have a public office, and we just signed up for these classes to learn how to change the baby's diapers, to how to wash the baby, breastfeeding. I got to wear like a baby suit so I could like understand how my wife was feeling. And then they had groups. They broke off into groups, so it's just the moms and then just the dads. And I got to meet like just some guys who were having their first kid, just like me. And I got to kind of like connect with them, which was really, really cool. And basically, formed a support group while we were there. But what you get are like these little booklets, and these books, they walk you through everything, like basically everything that from pre-birth to during birth, like checklists, different nurseries that you can sign up for in the area. These are the shots that you need to get. Like they just list everything, like what age, what booster shot you have to get. And you get all kinds these classes for pretty much free, and all you have to do is just sign up at your local ward office. I don't think it needs anything else but that to get started. All right, so the next section we're going to talk about leave, paternity leave and maternity leave. All right, so the second section is leave. So paternity leave and maternity leave. Do you need to apply to take paternity leave and paternity leave? The answer is yes, you have to apply. There is a standardized process, and I think there's probably some extra stuff that every employer has, so check that out when you're here. You won't just get it automatically. You need to submit it in writing, and for me, I had to submit it in writing up to a month before the date that I was going to go on paternity leave. Do all companies have this? Yes, it's a national right. Everyone is entitled to take maternity and paternity leave, but it's definitely something that has been growing. I know that especially for men, it's been something that's been pretty new. About 10 years ago, I think the amount of the percentage, when I looked it up, the percentage of men that had actually taken paternity leave was only 2%. So 2 out of every 100. Now we have, in last couple of years ago, I think the percentage was 12.5. So a big increase in the amount of men that are taking paternity leave, but still not a huge number. And of that 12%, it looks like 70% of them are taking only 2 weeks. And then something like 15% were taking a month. And then only about 2% were taking about a year of leave. But it's gotten a lot better. I personally, for the company that I work for, they have we get bonuses biannually, and I know that if I took just under a month, anything up to a month, it would not affect the amount of bonus that I would get. So I took exactly 1 day less than a month of paternity leave. But you can take up to a year, I'm pretty sure, or even 18 months or something like that, and you get 2/3 of your pay is covered by the Japanese government. But that also is an application process. You have to prove that you did have a child. There are a couple of forms you have to fill out, but it's pretty easy, and you'll just get a deposit into your bank account. Maternity leave is at least, I think you get 2 years or something like that. You can take up to 2 years if you want to. And you're, at least where I work, you're welcome back with open arms. Sometimes it's difficult to try to do both, so many people don't come back to work, but it's that's up to them, I guess. So anyway, that's kind of a maternity leave, paternity leave. I mean, for me, I took paternity leave for both of my kids. I had a great time doing that, and I know that it's getting better. So if you have any questions about leave in Japan, leave me a comment below. I'll look up whatever I can to help make things easier for you. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about are stipends in Japan. Whoop. Okay, so stipends. Here we go. Stipends, there are, kind of depends on how many kids you have, but here, I got a couple of documents here like this. So, for your first child, you get, it's 15,000 yen per month until they turn 3. And then after that, it's 10,000 yen per month, pretty much until they go to high school. Pretty sure that's right. Let me just double check. That's right, 15,000 yen per month until they turn 3, and then 10,000 a month until they enter high school. And I think if you have, let's see, it changed per child. It does change per child. So if you have 2 kids, it's the same each time, but then your third kid, you get an extra 5,000 yen per month while they're in middle school. And it doesn't change based on location. So anywhere in Japan, it's going to be exactly the same. And let's see, do you need to have a visa status? No. You don't need to have like a certain visa status to apply. You just have to apply for it, though. You have to go to the local ward office, prove that you had a child, and then they'll set you up with one of those, visa, with that kind of a not medical assistance, that stipend. Quick calculation of that should get you in the rough ballpark of about maybe 20,000 USD to maybe, I don't know, depends on the exchange rate, but about $20,000 per child over basically their lifetime up until they go to high school. I just also wanted to say too that you'll get, usually from your coworkers, you'll get some kind of there's so many things to go through here. Hold on, let me see if I can get it. There it is. So you get these kind of celebratory, it's basically a congratulations, and it's usually money, and it depends on who it is, but it's anywhere between 100 USD to maybe 500 USD per child. All right, I think that's all I got to talk about stipends. If you have any kind of questions about how much money you get per child here in Japan, let me know in the comments. Let's move on to medical expenses. Medical expenses. Basically anything that you incur while you're in the hospital and stuff that you incur while you're out of the hospital. While you're in the hospital, anything over 420,000 Japanese yen, you have to pay out of pocket. And the reason is because there's a national policy that covers all medical related expenses during birth up to 420,000 yen. And that doesn't matter if you live in Tokyo, if you live out in the boondocks. And all you have to do is show them your national insurance card. You just show it to them, and I think there's a couple of documents that you have to sign at the beginning. But when you walk out, the day that you walk out of the hospital, all you pay is the difference. For us, our first child cost about 480,000 Japanese yen, so I paid 60,000 yen, about 600, maybe 500 USD out of pocket when we walked out of the hospital. And then our second child was 520,000 yen. That was all the expenses, everything. And so I paid about 100,000 Japanese yen out of pocket, which is about 1,000 or 900 USD. So it's not too bad, but it's not all completely covered. There are some cases where it might cost less than that, and I think you do get the difference. So if it costs maybe 400,000 yen, you will get 20,000 after that. But that's while you're in the hospital. Those are all the expenses while you're in the hospital. And then when you get out of the hospital, all your child's medical expenses are covered until they reach middle school. So you won't pay anything until they reach middle school. And then once they've gone into middle school, I think the max you pay is 500 yen per visit, at least in Kawasaki. So we live in Kawasaki, which is right outside of Tokyo. I can actually see Tokyo from where we live, but in Kawasaki's case, there's a 70% is covered by the national insurance plan, and then Kawasaki covers roughly 30%. And then the individual will pay 500 yen per visit. So Pretty much all medical expenses for your child are covered up until I think they reach until they're technically an adult, and then then you get a ton of stipends. So that's what we talked about today too, is all the stipends that you get, all this monetary support, as well as you get family support, so you can take your parental leave, and then you get all kinds of support as a new father and mother through those courses. So this is a really broad overview of all the things that Japan does to support new families. I know that you probably have a ton of questions, things that I didn't get to talk to you today about. If you want to leave a comment, I will answer those comments as best as I can. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.